Hi everyone. So today I would like to talk about depression, the economy, and how people are giving up on life due to not being able to afford basic living supplies, rent, gas, electricity. So last night, right, my neighbor gave up on life, and I heard that he was going through a lot. He had like an eviction notice. He was 3 months behind on his rent, and I guess he thought that the only solution was to just let go of life. And it made me think, how should I feel, about this? It made me feel like about. It made me think about like my own situation. For example, I have a social anxiety disorder. I have a dissociative disorders. I have traumas that block my ability to interact with certain genders and certain people. And so I don't have a lot of friends. I am also an only parent. My husband passed away during COVID. And so I was left alone with my child, and due to a few situations, I am the only breadwinner at home. And I recently got faced with a situation where I got so sick and I had to undergo surgery, right? But I don't have a babysitter. I don't have anyone to take care of my child. And I didn't even know if I was going to survive the surgery. So I was able to have like the hospital care for my kid while I was in the ICU, and I survived the surgery, and I'm doing so much better now after I had the surgery. But I had no savings, okay? I had no savings at all. So imagine $0 in my bank account. I had to stay home for 3 months, you know. I applied for a disability, which never came. It never came. It came like 5 months later. So that disability was no help. So I was so desperate. I was losing hopes in life because I'm like, oh, so I survived my surgery. I survived almost dying. I was able to care for me and my child while recovering for surgery, and I was alone. And I survived all of this, but now I cannot even fit my kid because I don't have any money. And I kept getting eviction letters too. So for 3 months straight, I kept getting eviction letters because I couldn't pay rent. I had $0 in my bank account. The cash that I had run out. I called 211 like 20 times, and they would give me numbers of places that wouldn't take me because I wasn't a drug addict, because I wasn't an alcoholic, because I wasn't on disability, and I do not have Medicaid. And to be told no, there is nothing we can do for you, go and die, put me in a situation where I felt like I just wanted to end it because I didn't feel like there was like another way out. And so going through that situation, I felt hopeless at that moment. I have no money. I'm getting evictions letters. I have a child that I need to feed, but I also have to take care of myself during my surgery to make sure that I don't get infected, that nothing happens to me. I have no money in the bank. I have to feed my kid. I have an infestation going on at home. Uh, so many things at once that make me want to give up. So I understand why people now in society just give up, because it's so hard and difficult to do it by yourself, especially when you have, disabilities that block you from having interactions with other people. But you know what I learned during that situation? That like God never really abandons you in situations like that. I applied for a credit card and I got approved for this credit card. It was like saved my life, literally saved my life. I got approved for this credit card. I was able to eat for a while. Then I was able to finally do my taxes and get my taxes, and I pay my credit card, I pay everybody. Then I was fine. And thinking back to like that moment where I was alone, I was hungry, my kid was hungry, I was disabled, I was trying to survive and be strong and take care of my child and make sure that he's not missing anything, and being abandoned by society, being abandoned by the government, being abandoned by everybody around me, and everybody telling me, no, 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 there is nothing we can do for you. Basically, go and die. And being at that moment where I felt like giving up, I can understand why my neighbor did it, but I am glad that I did not. I am glad that I did not, because regardless of how hard and difficult the situation is, things will fall into place. Things will definitely fall into place. Like, you will ask me, oh, hey, didn't you apply for like government assistance, and like how about food stamps? How about emergency healthcare services? All of that, yes, I did. And I'm still waiting to hear back 5 months later. You know, how could have been that long ago before that? And you would say, oh, how about family members? What about family members? There are like a million people in my background check. So I guess that might be a reason why I was maybe not approved or qualified for anything, even though I've been, a working member of society my whole life. I, you would think that like I'll have like people to rely on and anything, but I actually don't. I am a paid abortion. I am what happens when you force someone to get pregnant and keep their babies. I am what happens once that baby is born. You get abused in the hopes that you would die, and if you don't, you will grow up get receiving this abuse. um, you will grow up, broken like me. You will grow up alone. You will grow up thinking that you are not worth anything because no one ever told you that you were. You will grow up trying to protect yourself from pedophiles and from creeps trying to get into your pants. You will grow up trying to isolating yourself in order to keep yourself alive. And I don't know where I'm going with this. What I'm trying to say is, I understand why he did it, but at the end of the day, everything that I've gone through, everything that I have overcome, and all of the things that I have, told myself that I couldn't do, but then end up doing anyways, my life is worth it. I am worth it. And sometimes I do still feel like down because like my traumas of being abused when I was little, growing up being abused mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and growing up to be broken and to be alone, and um, fearing women, because I have a fear of women. That's why I don't have any female friends, because of how much I was tortured by my mother before she threw me away, how much I was tortured by my dad's wife when she had to stay with me now because my mom threw me away and she had paid for my abortion and I wasn't aborted. So now I'm here invading her personal space. Then all of the abuse that I face by women makes me unable to have any female friends. Um, I do get along better with like boys. I do get along better with boys, but boys don't want to be friends with me. They really don't. They just want one thing that I'm not willing to give anybody, anyways. If you are not worth it, you're not gonna get it. Besides, I'm not even sexually oriented. I am asexual anyway, so yeah, that ain't gonna work. And so when you have these disabilities where you can talk to girls, you can befriend them, you have nothing in common with them, you can talk to guys, because you want to befriend them, but they don't want to befriend you and you don't want to give it to them. You end up in a situation where you feel trapped. But you know what? At the end of the day, I am glad that I didn't give up in life when I was going through all of these tough situations, because the solution was there. I was just too overwhelmed and closed down to see the solutions. And today I get to enjoy like living every day with my child, raising my child myself, and seeing him grow, and seeing how amazing he's becoming and what amazing of a man he's turning out to be. And I'm so glad that I didn't do it. I'm so glad that I didn't abandon him, due to the situations of life. And so yeah, I'm glad that like I gave it another chance, because in life you may think that like there is no way out, but even with everything that's going on, and even when you are like in the darkest of places and situations, God will never abandon you, and there is always a way out. As long as you're alive, there is always a way out. So yeah, I'm glad like today, like I don't owe anyone money. I'm still broke because I work a full-time job. Nobody gets paid anything in a full-time jobs now. The only one winnings are corporations, business owners, millionaires and billionaires and pedophiles and crazy bastards who abuse other people. Those are the only people winning right now. Anybody else working a normal regular job is not surviving, and I am one of those anyone else, but I'm also not the only one, you know? And so I learned. It made me think. I'm glad that I exist today, and everything that I've gone through, everything that I've overcome makes it worth it for me to exist today. And I know that like right now I may not be in the best of situations. I had to move into an RB recently because I can really not live with other people, as I get panic attacks and very often, and I have not lived with another person ever. My son, it took me such a long time to get used to live with my little child, and now that I'm used to living with him, it feels so. It's nature, it's part of me. But then people, outsiders, it's not easy for me to let outsiders out. So I cannot really live with another person. So I recently moved into an RV thinking that it was gonna be best. Then I saw my electricity bill be $1,000, and I was like, oh hell no, it's not gonna be best. But I am here. I am fighting, and I know that eventually things are going to get better, and life is worth living. So let's do our best. Gambate kudasai. Hang in there.